Everybody, we made it to 2016. Yay, us! And that's not a little thing, I bet, for any of us here. There was probably some stuff we made it through this year, right? Yep. We made it through. And we keep going. We're about to participate in a unity ritual, a unity tradition, the burning bowl. And we do have the coolest fire of all of the unity churches. We really do. I mean, some fire may be bigger, but no fire is cooler than our fire, thanks to Dan. And eventually you'll notice, like, it'll be all fancy, and then it will burn down into a beautiful spiral pattern of blue flames. I mean, it's awesome. So this year I decided last year it was the flames of forgiveness. This year it is the transforming fire. Sure? That is the transforming fire. And the symbolic act we take part in is in writing down a word or a phrase that represents what we want to let go of in our life, and we burn it. Traditionally, people write things that they feel are negative circumstances in their lives: lack, stress, ill health, or habits or patterns they want to overcome. Stuff like stinginess, quickness to anger, complaining, and so on. I want to remind us, before we start writing, that what it takes to be a Buddha, welcoming the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows into our lives, and what it takes to be the Christ, manifesting the ideal, the God pattern, as Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, would say. Expressing our God self is what I like to say, or our true self. That's one of the things that I like to call it. And what it takes to be this, the Buddha, or the Christ, or the true self. The mystery, the delightful mystery, is that the God pattern of the Christ is in everybody right now. It's in you right now in this moment. It's in me, it's in you, it's in the people next to you. It's all around. Now, we recognize the potential of the Christ. The potential of this pattern, it is a shiny, bright, ever-changing awareness or expression of the truth, of being your true self, all of it. No hiding, no pretense, just our self, our Christ pattern, becoming the perfect expression of self in the moment. And yet, we are a spiritual being living a human experience. So there is stuff that comes up. Yeah? We are a spiritual being living a human experience. There are human experiences that may seem not like the Christ, not like the Buddha. Now that's why we practice some self-examination or self-reflection. So go through this with me. That was fun. I want us to practice some impartial self-observation. And if you have your own process for figuring out one piece of paper, now I'm just going to be a little fussy and ask you to put everything on one little white piece of paper. We're not going to burn the big pink thing. We're going to, try to, you can write as tiny as you want to, but I'm asking you to do one piece of paper. And I've got ushers will hand out pieces of paper if my ushers, or even pink things if you need them. If anybody didn't get one in your in your, yep, people are raising their hands. And I made this worksheet up, and I want to tell you about it, but you can use your own process. You're going to have 5 minutes with Deb playing beautiful music for us when I'm done speaking, but I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the process. I love making these processes up because I love to do processes. And you'll notice that there's some cool quotes on the front, for your reflection and appreciation. And in the middle, Burning Bowl worksheet for release and transformation. There's basically 3 pages, and 1, 2, 3. Thoughts I have about myself, thoughts I have about my circumstances, thoughts I have about the world. You can do any or all of this, and you can take it home, and you can clearly spend more than 5 minutes. I know I have. And the process that I got for this is to start with, let's just say, thoughts I have about myself. The reason I want to start with thoughts is I want you to start with a kind feeling toward yourself. The first question, if just for a minute, just think of good and bad thought, okay, whatever, just the thoughts you have about yourself. Who can even tell if this aspect you're thinking about yourself is good or bad, Many, many things have a higher purpose than we even know. Many things and many attributes, ways of being have led us to spiritual evolution. So the first part is you just be neutral. Here's thoughts I have about myself. I'm kind. I'm crabby. Whatever it is, Then the second part, number 2, thoughts I want to let go about myself. So you look through the first, you pick some that you want to let go. And number 3, thoughts I want to encourage. Thoughts you want to encourage about yourself. Like, okay, I would, off the top of my head, I am kind is a thought I want to encourage. I am crabby, that's a thought I'd like to let go of. So that's if you want to do this pink thing, and feel free to do any practice. And our healing sound angel, Deb, is going to play for 5 minutes while we all get time to do this. So we're going to ask you to come up this aisle. So if you're over there, go around to the back and come up this way and admire, light your stuff you want to get rid of and drop it in the sand and go sit down. And if you need help, get some help. Let me make sure, okay? They're all burnt. Now, when each of us wrote down the word or phrase on our paper, we were actually issuing an invitation. Wouldn't it be cool if we were banning it for life? Like, that was it. No more complaining, which is one of my words. No more complaining. You are banned from my life forever. Would it be that simple? But instead, we've issued an invitation for complaining to bring with it awareness, to bring with whatever we're releasing, because this is a ritual. This is the symbol of our intention. And it is a beautiful ritual, but it is not magic. It is definitely an outside example of an internal process. And the process of wanting to let something go is that there needs to be there's just a little bit of engagement with it. We are engaging, all of us engaging in a healing process, because every single thing that is in our lives is here to teach us, to bring us to the exact step that we need to be in our spiritual evolution, for the next unfolding, for the next room of the chambered nautilus shell, the next little spiral of the branch in our tree of our life. Everything has conspired, the entire universe has conspired and is inspired to bring us to where we are today, in this exact moment. Everything is perfect. And you are the courageous ones. You are the courageous ones because you have decided to engage in a little bit of dancing with something you want to let go of. You are declaring that you're willing to waltz. What we're saying is we want this to not have power over us. In the traditional unity teaching about affirmations and denials, as H. Emily Cady and Charles and Myrtle Fillmore say, when you make a denial, you are denying that this thing has power over you. I am denying that complaining has any power over me. I'm denying that it has power. And I am willing to see what it is. What it is, how am I going to be healed? What is the exciting healing that's going to come up? One of the things we want to remember that it is the Christ within you that's going to be, leading when you're waltzing. I'm, by the way, I've had dancing lessons. I am a terrible follower. It is like a fight. Roland's like, are you going to let me lead? I'm like, oh, I'm trying, but maybe, I think we should go there. I just didn't get enough early childhood dancing lessons, right? Okay, but in this dance, it is your true self, the Christ within, that's leading the waltz. So you can relax and let that part of you lead. Your inner divinity will be engaging, and your inner divinity has a plan, taking you from contraction to expansion, taking you from fear into love, and from shame into compassion. So, for example, for me, it will not be that complaining will be banished from my kingdom, but rather that complaining will show up, and if I engage with complaining, it will transform me into something. It will transform me into a higher version of myself. For example, just take complaining. I might start to notice, oh, I'm complaining again, instead of just going on and on. Instead of a 3-minute complaint, I might stop at 2 and go, oh, I'm complaining. Or I might notice that a friend of mine is complaining. I have people who complain to me, and I get triggered by that too. It's like, I don't want that either. I might notice them complaining. And instead of banishing, I might say, wow, let me notice this. Let me develop a little curiosity about this complaining. So there's 3 ways I could go here. I can intellectually engage in this. What am I complaining about? What am I really complaining about? I'm complaining, but what's my actual real need? What's my feeling? What's my need? I can use this time to do a little introspection, some self-examination. I might take it really deep, looking to understand what this part of myself is trying to tell me. What's the spiritual lesson here? Oh, that's one way I can deal with it. Or I can choose something else. I can have something ready to go. I might want to engage in a different way. I can say, I have lined up appreciation. I have appreciation lined up. So when I notice myself complaining, I can turn that around right now and choose appreciation. Let's see something. What do I like to complain about? There's too many calories in that fudge. Why is fudge so good? And why is it going to, make the scale go up? I could do some appreciation. Wow. Isn't it cool that somebody loves me and made me fudge? Isn't it cool that I can notice the sweetness of life? Isn't it cool that I can notice that I need to have a balance in life, This much fudge, this much exercise. How about if I just appreciate that I'm noticing? Wow, here I am noticing. I can appreciate that I interrupted a complaint. Woohoo! I could choose something different. I can appreciate that. And then one more thing, just one more thing you can do to engage in the waltz. You can ask for spiritual help. At any moment, I can be stuck in my complaint about fudge or snow or any old thing, and I can just stop and take a breath and ask for spiritual help, because there is always spiritual help. All we have to do is stop and ask, and it's there. Now, these are just 3 spiritual practices that I came up with, and we all have many. There's probably a limited number, but there's tons of spiritual practices that we can use to dance with what we've written down. And if you need a few new ones, take one of the Unity classes that are coming up. There's always a ton of spiritual practices in there. Oh, I just have to add one more. Looking at a baby, man. Holding a baby, looking at a baby, engaging with that sweetness, that works too. That's number 4. There's always something. Now, we are not alone in writing the energy that is available for change and transformation at this time, right? It's the time of the switch over from the winter solstice, from the days that are contracting into the days that are expanding as far as sunlight's concerned. And that's all over. And even on the other end of down in Australia, they're switching the other way. They're going from more light to less light, but it's that change. So that's a real energy, and we are all made of energy. Right? We're made of energy. And there are always energies at work to support us in change and transformation. Whether or not we notice, we ourselves exemplify the polarities. Here's an energy, mountain, ocean. You can find some mountain in you. You can find some ocean in you. Here's another polarity, desire for safety, desire for adventure. Get that polarity in you. There's definitely unlimited polarities in us. And for some reason, I've been fascinated this season with pictures of the aurora borealis, because it's such a beautiful example to me of greater energies, even physical, spiritual energies. It's a picture of physical energies because the aurora borealis is caused by solar wind, from the sun. The energy of the sun comes all the way into our atmosphere and creates that. And of course, I haven't seen any from here, but we know it's there. If we went really up far, like maybe in Minnesota or even further, we would be able to see that because it's at the poles. But it's such a beautiful example. And the other reason I like those pictures is because it looks not so peaceful, right? And it's changing. If you've ever seen them, I was lucky enough to see them once in Canada. It's not like it's just a picture, it's a movie. The lights are changing. It's like a light show. They're ever changing. It's not a static energy. It's a constant energy. And one last thought I wanted to leave us with about all this energy that is available to us, spiritual and otherwise, and metaphysical, and even energy from the sun that might, feel like it's mixing things up, the energy of mixing things up versus the energy of the peaceful top of the ocean. There's the energy of mixing things up. That isn't it more fun to surf than flounder in the waves? So if there's a wave coming, I was lucky enough to be in the ocean this year, and if there's a wave coming in, the secret is to ride with the wave and not stand there and fight it. And if you're into that, that's cool too. If you want some sand in places you've never had sand before, go ahead and stand there with that wave of energy. And if you want to be a little more flowing with it, just flow with the wave. You see the wave coming, you take a breath, hold your breath, and go in with the wave into there's a certain part. It's more fun to ride the roller coaster with fun than fight the roller coaster, right? Once you're on, you might as well have fun. Let's take an offering for unity.